Where? Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the Mrs. Best Reviews channel. We are here collaborating again with Watch Your Mouth Reviews, aka James. Welcome in.
Hello, everyone. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, show my girl some love. Let's make this money.
It's on his channel as well. So like the video if you watch it there as well. It goes both places, but we are here to go over $1 Million Nannies, season 1, episode 3. Cardinal Sins. You can watch this on Freeform if you have cable. You can also watch this on Hulu or Disney Plus if you have streaming apps, and probably some other places. That's just where I know off of the top of my head. But I do welcome anybody who is new to either of our channels. We do appreciate you guys for subscribing. Don't be afraid to jump into the comments and share your opinion. Everyone's opinions are welcome, even if they're different from ours. But let's get into it, because Leah. I don't understand this chick. I don't understand her. I just don't understand her. But Leah, we're gonna actually come back to her because I'm looking at my notes. So we start with Taylor.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, we already had Leah?
No, but Leah I don't like her. I'm noticing. I'm starting to notice that's what it is. I just don't.
She's just really scandalous, if that's a word.
We understood what you meant, so it may as well be. If bootylicious is in the dictionary, then why can't that be?
It's just, everything is just, she has too many scandals for me. It's like, well, damn, what didn't you do up in the people's house?
I kind of agree with that.
I was like, what didn't you do? Like every time I turn around, she's doing something. I'm like, girl, wait a minute. But yeah, on Taylor, sorry. I had to get that out, y'all, because Leah stressed me out this episode. Taylor stressed me out this episode. And once again, Olivia. Girl,
I don't know what to do with Liv.
I don't know what to do. Yeah, I don't know what to do with her either. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're totally fine. I feel like once you've gotten past episode 2, there's going to be outbursts. That's why we're on YouTube, for anybody who watched the show and wants to share their emotional outbursts. Now, Taylor tells Mitchell after, because in the last episode, Nicola read her for filth with a perfect BBL. And she walked away. She said, that's it. You're done. You're done. If a rich person says you're done, usually. But she, Taylor dropped down to her knees like she was Jesus falling off the cross. And she breaks down into tears with a tiara and a stupid dress on at the beach. And, she tells Mitchell that she was fired for coming to talk to him on the beach.
Not quite.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
It's okay. I have nannied for years and years. That was how I made a living. You can walk away from the kids. I've walked away from kids to go see a friend or say hello. The thing that I did, though, is I kept them in my sight and I did not bring anybody to them, because your job is to protect the children. And part of protecting kids is keeping them away from strangers that their parents have not approved. And the fact that this girl, Taylor, I don't know if you peeped this, all of these women have nanny experience.
Yes.
Who are hers for?
Yeah, hers seems to be adjacent to Mitchell's. Like, it didn't seem like she didn't have very many experiences on her own, which was questionable of why Leah would even consider even placing her anywhere. Yeah. If there's a lack of resume as opposed to the collective, because pretty much everybody else has substantial resume of nannying for people. She kind of lacks it. So it was kind of interesting. And that's something I didn't even really think about until just now.
Yeah, it's weird that she's not knowing and surprised at these things. Like, it's common sense. I think even for people who are not nannies and do not have kids, it's common sense, but okay, girl. Yeah. She, in confessional, she equated being fired to disappointing her parents. I said, the parent that you said was a drunk?
I was just about to say, I didn't know if it, okay, I'm glad you brought that up, because I didn't know if that was her or Hannah who had the parents that, because, blonde hair, I didn't think,
mixed up.
I'm getting them. Listen, I'm getting Sydney and Olivia mixed up, y'all. I'm getting Hannah and Tay. They don't even look alike, but the fact that their personalities are so similar, I'm just
Mhm.
like, I'm getting confused. It's a new show, y'all. Forgive me.
We're only 3 episodes in. You'll get it. We still have a bunch left, but I can see why you would be confused because I do the same thing. Um, but this is also Taylor's first time being fired. Listen, I've been fired before. I was actually sick when it happened or hungover. I think that was part of why I got fired. But it was my very first, like, not job, but first job as an 18-year-old adult. And I just wanted to party with Mr. Best. Okay. That's all. And we partied hard. She fired me, and I wasn't even tripping at the end of it because I was like, oh, that means I get paid today. Let me go get my money. But Taylor broke down. I can understand it. There's more at stake. I also feel like she got fired for something. Now, if you're fired for like me, who I think I was hungover or something, I was 18, hungover, didn't called out for work, called out again, then came. It was like attendance, not for like how I treated the kids or what happened on the clock.
Right.
You're fired for stuff like that has to do with like performing your duties of any job. That looks bad. It does. Because attendance, somebody give you a shot if you just explain I was going through this or I was young or whatever. But when it comes to like leaving kids to chase after your boyfriend, who we all think is a little bit on LGBTQ, as quiet as it's kept, but you know, you left kids with a random person to go and do that. Like, you deserve to be fired. Now, Tamaya came on the beach because the lady came back for her kids. And then Tamaya was just left there like, huh? Because Nicola was like, I'll be in contact. And I said, she's going to hire her because Tamaya was working her ass off. And I do think she needs to get out of Nanny and go do something else, which we know she's trying to do. She wants to be an audiologist. That requires an immense amount of intelligence. So I am sure she was doing well. But Tamaya did console her. Tamaya was me and James consoling a friend, okay? She knew she fucked up and she knew she would get fired. But she was, it's okay, girl. Let it out. Because that's all you.
Right.
She told her to let it out. And then she was the one who told Taylor, listen, you fired, but the day ain't over. You better take your ass up to that room and see if you could salvage it. Why was her initial reaction to just sit and cry? If you want the job and need the job, and it's her first time working with like the rich, get your ass upstairs and make lemonade. Shout out to Black women, okay? Shout out to us because we gonna make lemonade. I don't understand
It's
what you
amazing.
just crying, Lord. But Taylor goes to Nicola's room to try and apologize. She is let in. She waited over 30 minutes, which I think Nicola did do that just to play with her, and that was fine. And Nicola comes in and explains that she is kind and she is nice, but that does not mean that she is her friend. And I think Nicola is a good person. I think this is somebody who attained money, but not has forgotten where they came from, because I think that's what Taylor needed to hear, because it's the same thing that Tamaya was saying in the confessional. Yes, they're nice, but you are here to do a job. I've had work families, okay, in the past at jobs before, but you're there to do a job. Act right. Now, Taylor cries and apologizes again, tells Nicola for some reason, I never heard I love you growing up. I'm like, where's my tiny violin? Because your childhood has not shit to do with why you were fired. You cannot put the two together. You got fired because you made a stupid choice chasing after a boy because you're paranoid that your virgin boyfriend's going to discover other coochies. That's really what it comes down to. But she was able to get her job back. But I kind of feel like she got her job back because of the tears. Like, if Tamaya was in front of Nicola's face crying, I don't know if Tamaya would have got her job back. If you know what I'm trying to say, you know. If you don't, I'm sorry, and enjoy your privilege. But I wouldn't have gave her job back.
No, I wouldn't have either.
Feel about that.
I wouldn't have given her anything back. Because what you're showing me is that when it comes to this man, you'll throw everything out the window that you have going for yourself offer something that you don't even have any proof of. It's not like you can confirm he was flirting with this lady. It's not like you can confirm that he was into her. It's none of all of these is in your mind. So you let your mind take over your bag. And like Mrs. Best said, by the grace of your skin complexion, I'm sure you got your job and them tears. Yeah, I can't discount them tears because them tears got power too.
Mm-hmm.
And then you try to, and then with the sob story, it was kind of like, okay, she can't help but feel sorry for you. And then in the back of her mind, being a mature adult, she's like, okay, everybody makes mistakes. She's remorseful enough. Let me go ahead and just give her her little job back. Because out of everything else, I do like her and think that, that's probably what's going through Nicola's head right now. It's like, I do like her. So, I mean, yeah, she made a mistake, very dangerous one at that. But people make mistakes. So that's probably what she's going with. I wouldn't have given her job back. This is a life lesson you need to learn.
Yeah.
When it comes to your money and when it comes to your job, you only, I guess, speaking from experience, you only get so many chances in life. You can't keep mess up your chances on the path of someone else, especially if it's an assumption. It's one thing if he was doing that at the beach, that would be one thing, but he wasn't doing anything.
That makes it even worse. It's like you
Yes.
did all of this, which was unprofessional, but then you did all of this thinking that he was doing something and he wasn't doing anything. And it was a choice because if you can connect the fact that you know that you're jealous, then you can do the work to stop your jealous tendencies. People
Well,
just
first,
be bullshitting. And I
yeah,
feel like that's what she was doing.
to me, if you jealous over the actions of a person you probably not with the right person. Because nothing they do should make you jealous like that.
In her case, I don't think it has to do with being with the right or wrong person. I think it's more internal. Like, this is why they say work on yourself before you get into your next relationship because of shit like this.
That
Doesn't
could be
make
true
sense.
because she was in abusive relationships when she was 12. So yeah, that does make sense. So yeah.
When she was 12. This
Well,
girl.
hell, we don't know what the timeline was, and she ain't that old. So what the hell are we supposed to believe?
We don't know what's going on with Taylor, but she deserved to get fired. I'm glad she got her job back for the sake of the other nannies, but she did deserve to get fired. Now, Olivia explains that they're there for jobs, and I'm
I'm just waiting on it. Come on.
I'm not understanding why Olivia is asking if Taylor thinks anything is going on between her and the man. Baby, obviously she does think that, but I also don't feel like Olivia needs to go and make her more comfortable. But they get back to the house, and that's where things started to get a lot more messy. Tamaya told the girls because Tamaya, Olivia, and Mitchell made it back before Taylor because she was back groveling for her job. And Tamaya let everybody know that she was fired, and everybody understandably is upset. They feel like Taylor should have cleared things with Nicola before leaving her because it really was a simple fix. Leah was correct. All you have to do is clear it with the parent. Text them. It takes 2 seconds. If they don't respond, oh well. He had just got to that beach too. It's like, let them build a castle, play in the water before you go down there acting crazy. Like, it's just not, there's lots that she could have done to avoid it. Taylor does eventually make it back home to the house, and they all have dinner together, and her firing comes up at the table. Leah is pissed. Taylor explains she was able to get her job back, but everybody still came at her. And listen, Olivia was right. The group should not have jumped on her. Olivia was right about that. However, how dare you lose a job, impact other people? Because Nicola is not the G's. She's not the three dads. She is the who's who in the area that is connected to all of the rich people with kids. So you don't come back to the fucking table and smile and are just like, well, I got my job back. That's all there is. No, you don't get to make a mistake or do something that impacts others and then act nonchalant in your response to their distress. That's rude. That's condescending. And that shows further lack of professionalism and a lack of discernment to even think that that was okay with anybody, in my opinion. But Taylor was like kind of smug and rude at first until they showed how pissed they were and she got jumped on. Now, I do agree that Leah should have spoken to her privately. You are supposed to be the CEO or head honcho of this nanny service or whatever the fuck she's trying to do. And when you're a leader, you have to lead by example. You just do. So I feel like you should have talked to her in private. It shouldn't have been a whole house thing because they're gonna gossip regardless. Learn how to be a leader, but to nanny doesn't mean that you get real life work experience. It just doesn't. A lot of that experience doesn't translate anywhere else unless you want to go work in a school, an after school program, or things like that. Like in the real world, you got to talk to people privately. But how did you feel about the dinner and everyone jumping on Taylor? I know Mitchell tried to defend her a little bit at the table. Like, how did you feel about that dinner?
Um, Here's the thing. I felt like everyone did jump on her, but she could have ruined it for a lot of them to get jobs, especially because if Nicola's word spreads the way that everyone is claiming that it does, that could really ruin the opportunity that Leah is trying to provide. So, in one instance, I did understand everybody's frustration. However, I feel like it was inappropriate and uncalled for. I feel like to me, y'all should have voiced that to Leah privately and saying, hey, like she really could have messed this up for everybody. And I'm here, we're spending money paying for this lease, and all of us have rent back home too. We need to be making money. So she cannot slip up and have these mistakes like this. You need to have a further in-depth conversation and let her know, hey, if we need to find you some resources, we can, but please keep it professional for the sake of everybody else, because we're all a collective. This is not individual work. We're all a collective. That's what I really would have expected from Leah and everybody else, is to keep it somewhat professional. Even though you're in a house together, just keep it somewhat professional.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible people have to choose to do it. If we could keep it somewhat professional, just doing YouTube reviews, then I'm sure they can.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
the good money that they getting paid. Okay. Right. They definitely could have, but I think that was the best way she could have explained it. Because sometimes stuff does have to be addressed in front of everyone, but if you do it, is how you go about it. But
right.
We'll see. Leah got some nerve, though. She really do got some nerve. Now, later on, there's a white party that is hosted by Nicola that Tamaya has helped to organize. And at the white party, Taylor irritated me further. I don't know if I was paying attention to it. I don't know if it's because I was a nanny myself, but I didn't like how Nicola's kids were all over the place while Taylor was on the clock. She wasn't attending that party like everybody else as a guest. She was attending that party as the nanny to watch the little girls. And Nicola had to look at her. Could you please go give them some orange juice in a wine glass? Could you please go? Why are you having to, like, do your job, Taylor? And when she wasn't acknowledging them, it's because of Mitchell yet again. Yeah. But it is what it is. The G's come to the party. Y'all know I don't like these people. Some people get wealth, and they are the reason why people who have wealth get a bad rep. The G's to me are that, specifically the mom and that daughter, not the husband. I don't really have a problem with him. I'm actually impressed with him for dealing with them people. But the G's asked Sydney to go grab them a drink off the clock. Now, I was with Sydney. I don't give a fuck how rich you are. Unless you're paying me a salary that's going to make it to where I can afford a house that looks like yours, get your own fucking drink if we off the clock. That's just how I feel. Now, the other thing, I have nanny for like some richer parents, like in the Oakland Hills up in, we call it Skyline. And they do have stuff with that. And I'll let them know, hey, just want to remind you, like, my job is to focus on your kid. Like, I won't even do it. Like, I'll be like, if you're interested in an assistant, though, maybe we could, discuss making some changes to the contract. You have to put your foot down. Like, Sydney, a piece of her is this way because she's kind of uppity, and she admitted that she grew up rich and she grew up with having help, so she doesn't want to feel like the help. Baby, change careers. Yes. But I do agree with what she's saying about you have to place boundaries, because parents are people too. If you give them an inch, they may take 5 miles. Yep. You just never know. I thought it was rude and condescending of them people to ask for that. But, Sydney went and she complied and made comments. And the grandmother, I don't know her name, don't care for her name, was like, see, she has an attitude. Well, why the fuck are you asking her to do stuff that you know is going to irritate her? Like, you know that this lady has an attitude. You know that she's not willing to conform and change herself. Then why do you keep asking her to do it? Either fire her and find somebody who is going to comply with what you want, or let it go. at some point. I don't know. Did you feel that way about the G's, or did you not care about the drink?
No, I definitely cared about the drink. I felt like, to me, if you're not paying me, what are you asking? First of all, they wouldn't even have saw me at that party. Let me be very, very clear. They wouldn't even have saw my ass there. So that would have been one thing. But if by chance they saw me and they asked me to do that, I would have gently pushed them to the side and say, hey, I am not working. I am a guest just like you are right now. So you can get your own drink, or you can call a waiter over here to come get you a drink. I'm not on the clock right now. I've had to tell a boss that. I worked on round table at Foothill in Hayward when I was 14. And my family, my mom had to pick me up from work, and usually I would work Friday and Saturday night. So one Friday night, my mom and my aunt were up there, and it's the call center downstairs. So you walk upstairs and there's a regular round table. And I'll never forget the supervisor. I needed a refill, me and my brother, and he goes, well, why don't you go and get it? I said, I'm not on the clock. Why would I go and get something that I'm not, I'm not working right now. You see me over there with my family. I had to tell him, I'm like, I'm not on the clock. Like, the hell? Yeah, I remember doing that. Because I'm like, no, y'all have to tell people, listen, boss, owner, don't matter. If they hold a grudge against you for not getting what they asked off the clock and they fired you, guess what that's called? Wrongful termination. And maybe
In
also
California.
Arizona too. Arizona had the laws with it.
I know, not in every state though. I just learned that looking into my friends in Mississippi. I said, oh Lord.
I know. I was like, how y'all don't have wrongful termination? There was another state too that didn't have it that I was shocked about.
There's a bunch of them.
Oh. Listen, for those who have wrongful terminations in your state, that does classify as wrongful termination, because what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to prove the incident of what happened. And if it did not happen in the facility while you're in your 8 hours, guess what? You win. They probably won't even take it to court.
Yeah, I don't know why they're so afraid of it. I didn't like how they kept using that, like, well, this is what you deal with the 1%. No, it's not. It's what you deal with if you let them.
If you
it's
let them.
definitely what you deal with if you let them. But it is what it is. I also hope the 1% watches the shows and sees how fucking difficult and disliked they are, because my God. Later on, Olivia and Taylor have a talk. This irked me, this talk. To make Taylor feel better about losing her job, Olivia told her that Leah slept with a dad. Now, there are ways that you can make people feel better. Like, let's say I cheat on my husband, and then I get caught and he leave, and then I go to James. If James's way of making me feel better is to then go cheat on his partner, it doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't equate. I don't understand why Olivia did this. I feel like Olivia just wanted to tell somebody. She knows that Taylor lacks emotional regulation. She knows that Taylor is jealous, unhinged, and moves before thinking. So I think that's why she told her, but it was messy. And after getting this information, because she told her at the white party, these people don't understand professionalism if it bit them in their rear end right at the hole of their anus. But immediately, Taylor goes to Nicola with the information, because she don't like how everybody jumped on her for her fucking but everybody else's ability to make money. Okay? She played with the church's money and then got mad at God, is what Taylor did. Okay? And she goes and tells Nicola, well, Leah slept with a dad before, and I just, I did what you said, and I tried to remain calm, but, I just find it hard when she's done this. And I'm like, why would you tell Nicola any of that? Like, why would you even tell her that you were yelled at? This is your boss, not your friend. Why would you go and bring it to the client? That doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. Now, in the middle of it, Mitch walks over. It's easy for me to call him that. The Mitchell, I ain't got time. And he apologizes to Nicola for being on the beach. I said, what the fuck are you apologizing for? You were asked to be somewhere, found a way to be there while supporting and doing your job as well. Why are you saying sorry because your girlfriend is dumb? Like, I just don't understand it. So Mitchell apologized to Nicola. Nicola told Mitch that she had heard what she had heard about Leah. I said, damn, you just told this to Nicola, And now Nicola ain't even waited a full 10 minutes before sharing the information with just the first person that walked up to her. So now Mitch is aware that Leah has slept with a dad. And Nicola walks away, and Mitch asks Taylor, like, why would you tell Nicola that about Leah? And Taylor says that she told Nicola because she seems trustworthy. Taylor, you don't have any discernment. And what's funny is some people think they have all of it and lack so much of it. I see it all the time. Taylor just doesn't have any discernment whatsoever. But she seems slow. She just seems slow. How did you feel about all that I just said? Because she irked my soul. I do not like Taylor anymore.
It was Olivia and it was Taylor in this scene. Because first of all, Olivia, you knew what you was doing. I'm sorry. You knew exactly what you were doing.
She did.
Because you didn't even have to say anything. You could have just took that and put it in, your back pocket and talked to Leah when she was sober in another accordance. But you didn't have to do all of that. And then Taylor, what in your mind possessed you to go to your boss and tell her this very troubling information that was not told to you by the person? So you don't know if it's true. You don't know if you don't know anything about it. And it's offensive and problematic. And you don't know how that could get back to the G's and ruin it for her.
I think she
because they are there.
Get back. I think that's why she said it though. Taylor acts innocent, but she's a vengeful bitch. And y'all go think I'm going too far saying this, but what James just said is the only reason I think she would have said something. Because she did not like that Leah got on her ass. And this is why, if you want to be a leader, Leah, and if you want to own something, you have to watch how you talk to people, even when people, you or your business effed up. Because they could get upset and feel away and then go do what just happened. The other thing I'd like to point out is all of these people on the show are so upset at the fact that Leah slept with the dad. The more y'all talk about it, the more it makes it harder for y'all to get jobs. But I digress. I'm a digress. Moving forward, the G's sent nail techs to change the nails at the house for Sydney and Leah. They have these women dressed up in the white maid outfits that they used to wear in psych wards in America when they first came. They have them wearing gloves in hot ass Ibiza. They don't want them to show any part of their body and have them in long sleeves in the heat. They've been asking them to change their nail polish. I don't know how nail polish impacts your kids. And they refuse to do it. So they finally realized, oh, maybe we have to pay if we want people to pay money to get rid of something they paid for. No shit, G's. Send over your own nail tech and you pay to change my nails if you want my nails done. Other than that, what we gonna do? But they do get their nails changed. I think the G's are doing the most for TV. You guys are not likable. Nobody respects you. All I see is a bunch of people who, if I'm ever in Ibiza, I would never go to y'all's dental practice because y'all are so out of touch. I would trust that. I don't think you believe me if I told you I needed more Novocaine. Hell, I just wouldn't want to deal with them people. I wouldn't. But they do get their nails done. And while they're getting their nails done, Taylor, Mitchell, Olivia are all talking about the information they have on Leah being problematic because her name is on the agency. She slept with a dad. She slept with a homeless person as well. I can't remember if that was the last episode or the next one. I feel like it was the last one.
No, it was episode 2. No, she had mentioned it drunkenly.
Yeah, I'm like, this lady gets drunk, puts cones on her heads that are outside on the floor. She sleeps with dads. She is sleeping with the homeless. Like, I don't know why she was trusted to watch anyone's children when she shouldn't even be trusted. She needs supervision, honestly, in my opinion. But all of this is happening, and Hannah comes in. Hannah admits that she told Jack. And so pretty much nobody kept their secrets to themselves, which is why if someone says something, keep it to yourself. Perfect example. I'm close with James. I'm close with Kiwan JTV. I'm close with Shayna. But I've known James 20 years and I've known them for just 3. So if James tells me something private, I'm not going to run and tell them that until I see that he said it. Doesn't matter if it's big, impacts them or not. Like, that's how it should be. So it's crazy how loose lipped these people are. And I'm not going to blame it on age, because when I was 22 to 25, I kept my fucking mouth shut to avoid drama with friends. So I know they can too. But they then decide to add Tamaya to it because they're like, we can't just leave her out. Tamaya, I wish she was left out, because thank you for being the token Black person who is acting correctly, not acting a fool, expressing yourself appropriately, breaking all stereotypes, and the most professional and likable, I think, of everyone on this show right now.
100%.
They all got something that
They all got something. And to me, I kind of feel like I hate she there, because
yeah.
I don't want her to get caught up in any of this mess that Taylor is causing, that Olivia is initiating by running back and telling all the business, and that Leah is just Miss Blubbermouth when we don't know. As I said, we don't know any of like what Leah has going on that could affect them. They just blurting shit out and not really getting the facts and shit. And once Leah finds out, I can't be mad at her for being mad. I can't be mad at that.
Child. They it's a mess. They all have a plan to approach Leah, though, about the people that she slept with, specifically about them knowing that she slept with the father. We'll probably see that in episode 4. But back at the G's, Leah is out with one of the kids, and she goes out with the husband. And the reason they chose to let Leah go with the husband, and this pissed me off. They say that they wanted Leah to go with the husband because the husband is less likely to cheat with Leah in the G's mind than with Sydney. Because to the G's, they think that Sydney's so pretty. And Sydney's like, well, thank you, but Leah's got bigger breasts than me. So why is it okay for her to go with the husband, but not for me? And they literally verbatim said, because you are pretty. It pissed me off because I felt like it was offensive to Leah, because you're saying, one, she's less attractive, so she can be trusted around men. As quiet as it's kept, them less attractive ones be the ones you got to watch. Okay?
I was just about to say that.
The less attractive ones and the big girls, you do have to watch. I said what I said. Please do not cancel me. But it's just the way I've experienced it. But they start saying, in your titties, she's like, my boobs are small, and basically she's pretty. And that intimidates them. And the G's tell these crazy stories about what they've seen and stuff, but it's like, just because you have paranoia and are not trusting in yours and secure in your own marriage doesn't give you the right to treat me this way. I hope that Sydney does quit, but the episode pretty much ended with Sydney learning of crazy stories that the G's were telling her. I do think they like her, though. I think they just don't like that she's aesthetically attractive. But if I was Mama G and I had nannies, I'd be dressed to impress all the time. Every time my man was around, I'd have my titties sitting up to my chin like Shamia Morton's mama. I would be doing everything I could to keep my man interested if I had this much paranoia. But I don't think it's right or respectful of them to do this. I feel for anybody that actually works for these people. They just don't seem to be good people. I'm just going to say it. I could be wrong, and I hope that I am. But any woman that comes at another woman like this because of her insecurity, it makes no sense. And then you're telling all these nanny stories, but none relate to your husband. So if your husband hasn't done anything, then why are you coming at them? None of my husband's friends, when I first met him, was shit. I could not stand any of them. Raggedy Negroes from Oakland. Okay? That's what they was. And half of them are still raggedy Negroes from Oakland, cheating on their baby mamas and wives and whatever chick they got. My husband don't move like that. You can't just put onto people what you see other people around them doing. You can't put onto people what you've heard of. That's not fair. But I do hope that Sydney quits after that. But how do you feel about the G's and what happened?
I would have felt so insulted that I probably would have quit on spot. Because to me, and I know Sydney don't want to say what it really is, because she want to keep that. She ain't trying to blow up her spot either, because they're gonna think birds of a feather flock together. If she gonna fuck my husband, you probably would too. So yeah, because they already have that in their mindset. My problem with the G's, especially that wife and that mama, is that, you know what? At the end of the day, y'all ought to be ashamed of yourselves for acting this crazy and this uppity like y'all be doing. I don't wish infidelity in a marriage, but it would not surprise me if that man don't step out with somebody. It would not surprise me because I can only imagine how uppity y'all act with just the help, how much y'all probably act towards him. I would run from y'all every chance I got to. I wouldn't cheat, but I would definitely run from y'all. I would. I would be gone every chance I
You
got.
accuse people of cheating long enough too, he might just say, fuck it, I'm already being accused, and go out there and clap somebody cheeks.
Right, because I'm trying to figure out, like, okay, so has it happened already and we just projecting? Did she look like, because you know people do that too. When some shit is happening, like, and say, let's say somebody's husband were to cheat with like an assistant or something, and then the wife is petty and hires an assistant that looks exactly like her to test him and see if he'll do the same thing. She gives me that. She gives me that. She gives me the type of person that will test him to see if he'll do it again by hiring a girl that aesthetically looks like what he cheated with. I can see it. I can.
I actually believe that. I actually think that's a good observation, and fully agree with that, because the way they move, it seems like everything is a test. And
Yeah.
they present it as it's a test for the nanny, but when you put it that way, it's probably a test for the husband. And he just be sitting quiet looking at them like they are absolutely insane. So it wouldn't surprise me, but this show is very good. I'm glad I decided to pick up on it. I think it was Vibe X. Shout out to Vibe, who I think suggested I cover it. This will be replacing this. Oh, my brain. It's just terrible. This show is replacing the slot that I was covering Love and Hip Hop Miami with. So you'll see episodes and reviews from me and James for this show on Fridays. You will also see episodes from us on this show on Wednesdays. That's what I'm going to do going forward until we get to 8 episodes. If you have any suggestions for shows you would like myself or Watch Your Mouth reviews to cover, feel free to let us know. We do listen to suggestions and try to respect them as much as we can to the best of our ability. But that is really it for this review. Did you have any final words that you just itching to get out of your mouth?
No, I like this show as well. I feel like for me, I can't wait to see how it ends. I think that's what I'm most excited about, especially because we have all this scandal within the first 3 episodes. I want to see how this plays out. I really do.
I do too. I hope there's a reunion. It doesn't look like it. And I've tried not to look because, you know, sometimes on the app, when you look at like if there's a reunion and then you kind of get an idea of what's happening based on I don't want to do that. But hopefully there's a reunion. There's probably one floating on YouTube somewhere. But love and light to everybody who is watching this review. We do appreciate you. We hope you subscribe to both channels. Thank you, James. And we will see you next time.
Next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you.